My father was mad about my mother. He thought he was the luckiest man in the world. He idolized my mother, adored her, and wanted to do everything he could to ease her physical pain and to help her become who she wanted to be. I think my mother was constantly herself, trying to get her parents' attention, trying to be somebody in her own family. I think in many ways she herself felt invisible in her family. And I think she felt she had no power in her family, that the power was all with the men. And so I have great empathy for my mother's journey. I have incredible empathy for what my mother went through. And I found that actually in going to Hoffman much later in life, understanding who my parents were when they were young, what were their dreams, how did they grow up? I hadn't really thought about them as two smaller individuals. You know, they were just big people to me. But trying to think about who they were at 12, who they were when they met, what their dreams
And
were.
Hoffman is the Hoffman Institute.
It's the Hoffman Institute, where you go to look at kind of patterns and process in your own family and how you can kind of look at your parents with not,
with a greater sense of empathy
with
and
empathy,
understanding
not blaming them, but
what happened to them.
understanding them, what happened to them. And that was really the first time that I thought about what had happened to them.
And did you see them differently? Is
Yes,
that where
absolutely.
I See You Now came from, the
Yes,
poem that you write about your
absolutely.
father?
Yeah, I see you now. I didn't, I wanted my father to stand up to this terror that I felt as a child, and I didn't understand his quiet strength. I didn't understand, the way he was showing up in the world. And I didn't, I think, until I went to Hoffman, until I thought of how scary it must have been for him, how he himself was trying to navigate this big, competitive Irish Catholic family, how he was trying to be a different kind of man in this family. And I didn't have any sense of that. I just saw him as somebody who wasn't...
Did you think he was weak?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I wanted to get a different kind of a man than my father.
And now you write. Will you read that poem? I See You Now?
I see you now. You see, all I wanted was for you to stand up, to rage against it all. But now I see that wasn't your way. You had a way of doing things, a way I didn't understand. I wanted you to speak your mind, to yell out loud. I wanted you to take charge. But you had a different plan. You had your own way.